Do you know when you like dress up as a kid and like you kind of pretend to be like a cop or like pretend to be a doctor as a kid with your friends and like you kind of role play as a kid? That's how I envision my filmmaking style, is like that low budget, like dress up with your friends. But we actually film it and we put music over it, and then that's kind of like our style, yeah. My name is Pham, and I'm a 21-year-old filmmaker from Winnipeg.
I met with Tommy in his basement office, which is decked out with an old tube TV and plenty of VHS tapes, to discuss his work, inspiration, and plans for the future. Tommy is the mastermind behind Digital Workshop, a 6-person video production studio that creates everything from corporate videos to TikToks, but the majority of their work is currently music videos. We started by discussing Tommy's process of creating a music video. After listening to the song, he rewatches his favorite movies for inspiration.
Kind of keeping an eye on like this, how shots are filmed and how some of the sets are like created, and just kind of focusing on that, and then recreating those like sets, like a low budget version of those sets in my music videos, and then we can just go from there. I love films because it's just a great media, because it's like it's music, visuals, and also storytelling, which you don't really get anywhere else. Filmmaking means a lot to me because it's my creative outlet, and throughout my whole like life, I was never really great at like school or like my main courses. The video production class was like the only time I felt like I really excelled, and I felt like I was appreciated in that class. When I was in grade 8, I got into filmmaking through this movie called Eraserhead. It's from a movie from the 70s. It's like a horror movie. It was like shot on like really low budget. It was like $30,000. All the actors were like just the director's like closest friends. And that really inspired me to make my own movies, because I always thought like you need a huge budget to like make like a Hollywood movie, but in reality you just need some close friends just to support your work.
Tommy is more comfortable behind the camera than in front, but he loosens up more, recalling the time his mom took him to see a horror movie.
Because I remember I was a kid, I was like terrified that my mom brought me to this movie where this octopus arm thing comes in and like murders like a bunch of people, and I was like, why did my mom bring me to this? But it just engraved my brain. And then recently my friend put on this movie called The Mist, and then I saw the scene again. I was like, oh my god, this is the thing from like the first like movie I ever saw in theaters, which terrified the shit out of me as a kid. The 1997 movie Boogie Nights is my favorite movie. I love the soundtrack to it. It's really good, and that was the first time I ever noticed a great soundtrack, how each song helps the scene a lot. Also, I just remember reading some interviews with the director, and he was only like 26, and I was like, man, I was 16 at the time. I was like, man, I really gotta get on this like filmmaking, because like being 26 and being able to make a movie like that is insane.
The versatile Spike Jonze is Tommy's favorite director and has clearly influenced his work, which exudes a fun energy that combines his love of films and music. He
directed all like those Jackass movies, which I respect, because like they're just kind of like goofy YouTube movies, like pre-YouTube, I guess you can call it. But then also he's done like Oscar-winning films, which is like Being John Malkovich or like Her. But then he's also directed a lot of music videos for like Beastie Boys and Bjork and like Kanye, Jay-Z, and just the list goes on. If I can direct any music video for one artist, it would probably be like Kid Cudi. I love his visuals, his space aesthetic is really cool, and I've always been a huge fan of his work ever since I was middle school. And a lot of his music was kind of like a gateway drug for me. For hip hop, directing a music video for him would be like the coolest thing to me.
Tommy plans to expand Digital Workshop to eventually produce feature films and TV shows. It's not always easy, but he stays motivated by focusing on why he started filmmaking in the first place and enjoying the creative process.
Working as a videographer in Winnipeg is very, very difficult due to like other super creative videographers out there who's been doing it for like ages. But yeah, it's super easy as well to find new clients, because there's always up-and-coming artists that are super hungry and willing to work with any videographer that they can get their hands on, which is amazing for videographers. But then but this competition is very, very hard. But that kind of keeps you on their toes and how to kind of find like reinventing yourself. I used to do it for the money, and then that just burns you out so quick. Because I ended up not liking the process, because it became just like a cut and paste type of thing. But then recently I just started loving the process more, and then that just keeps me motivated, and it kind of brings me back to my old roots of why when I went into it, because it was like my creative output. I'm totally happy with doing like music videos as of right now, but in the future I'd love to direct like movies with my friends.